Hello. Okay, I'm back with part 2 of identifying and removing resistance. If you did not watch part 1 of this, I would say go back, watch part 1, absolutely, because you won't be able to do the next step. So go back and do that quick exercise. The video is like around 8 minutes, super fast, really doable, very easy for anyone. So we are looking at removing resistance from things that you know that you need to do in your business or things that you want to do in your business, but you're coming up against them and it's just not, the action's not happening with ease. So in the last video, what I had you do is you identified the emotion or the feeling that was causing the physical energy block. And then we took that a step deeper and you identified the primary thought or maybe a few thoughts that were creating that emotion. So what we've done now is you have gotten to the heart of the thought in your brain that is triggering the emotions in your body that's creating the resistance. So now what we need to do is we need to take that thought, we need to intentionally shift that thought so that it removes like the energy block, basically, more or less. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so let's imagine that what you ended up with was a thought that is, a thought that is, it needs to be perfect. Let's say that's what it is. It needs to be perfect. Whatever it is you're working on. Maybe it's your website. Maybe it's commenting in other people's social media posts. Maybe it's messaging. Who knows what it is? Something branding related. Who knows? Or even deciding on your offer or your pricing, whatever it is. It needs to be perfect is, let's say that is what the thought that came up, and the feeling that thought was causing is, let's see, what would that feel like? I would say fear and maybe shame. Who knows? These wirings are different for everyone. So this, like, if you have this thought, if this actually is the one that you came up with, it might be triggering a different emotion for you. That is why, I'm not going to go on a big tangent here, but that is why I really advise against following blanket advice about business building, because every different strategy, every different approach, everything that people recommend might trigger different things for you, because your wiring, emotional, mental wiring, is different than everyone else. Everyone's is unique. Okay, so now you have your thought. Let's say we're using this as an example. What needs to happen here is you need to identify a different thought that will trigger a different emotion that doesn't create resistance towards the action, that isn't fighting up against and creating conflict with the desire to take the action. So this is what people talk about. This is like the logistics of getting in alignment. If people talk about alignment and you're like, I get it, kind of, but I don't really know what it means. This is what they're talking about here. Okay, so the key here, where most people go wrong, is they jump all the way to the other extreme. Like, it doesn't matter if it's good, right? And that might be a poor example, but they jump all the way to the other side to try to shift it. This is a little problematic for a number of reasons. One, your brain doesn't believe that. We're coming up against values and core beliefs here, potentially things that you've held your whole entire life. And so your brain isn't going to necessarily believe right away the total opposite swing in the other direction. So I want you to start brainstorming what thoughts that are related, like in the vicinity, are related to this idea, thinking about the thing, are you going to believe? You need to believe them. You need to be able to get on board with that and believe it, and are going to create a different emotion. Those are the two things we're really looking for here. So if we're filling out more of a complete thought model, you want to have the thing that you're referencing. So let's just say this is website. Let's just say that's for somebody, okay? So the thought about doing the website is it needs to be perfect, which is creating fear and shame, which is causing avoidance, avoidance is basically resistance, right? Okay, so now we need to start brainstorming what other thought could you have that would create a different emotion about the website. So here, before filling out feelings, what I always like to do is I like to just do kind of a brain dump of all the potential thoughts that you do have or you could have about the thing instead of your default thought. So it might be, I can improve it as I go. That's something that is a big shift that I have had over the course of my business, is this idea that we're not going to get it perfect the first round. Let's do a draft one and publish and put draft one out there. It doesn't need to be perfect. We can improve it as we go. We can tweak it and improve it and make it better over time, but getting something out is better than nothing, right? So that could be a thought. You might have another thought of, I'm going to get help. I'm going to get help with my website. That might be something. Or maybe I'm ready to take the first step. That would be for somebody that knows the first step. Maybe you have been focusing on the whole thing because you want it to be perfect. So you're focusing on the outcome, the final piece, the whole thing. Maybe just shifting to knowing that you're ready to take just the first step will get you in action. So then what I want you to do is look at each of these and try each thought on to make sure that, one, you believe it, and two, to see what emotion it triggers. So I can improve it as I go. That might be like, for someone that's never really thought that before, that might be relief. It might make you feel capable. I'm going to get help. Might make you feel supported. It might make you feel, we'll stick with supported for the time being. Okay, I'm ready to take the first step. If that's true, that might feel like sure and grounded. Sorry, I have to kind of try each of these on for me. It would be different for you. Sure, grounded. If I know the first step is something that's true for you, that might make you feel, let's go so far as to feel confident, right? So everything that you're seeing here is a shift in the feeling. All of these are shifting the feeling away from one that creates emotional, energetic resistance and one that starts to move towards forward movement. Now, I don't care if it's like, we don't need to make even the biggest leap towards like confident, energized, like those types of things. That's great if you can get there right at first. But at first, I would be happy with even something that maybe gets you to neutral, or something that gets you to even just less resistance. Like if it's stress, anxiety, etc., or like, terror and fear that's creating this resistance, even if we were to get to something that's not even neutral, but just less of that would be better, right? Like just unsure would be better than like full panic. So don't think that you need to make this full jump immediately. I want you to take a little step in the right direction. And remember, it has to be a thought that you believe. Otherwise, this won't work. It will put your brain into more conflict, which will create more energetic resistance. We don't want that. So now I want you to identify one, maybe two of the thoughts and emotions that you believe and that feel really good in your body. When you focus on them, when you close your eyes and you focus on the thought, it feels good, or at least feels significantly better. And then those become your one or two, I'll say, mottos, mantras, affirmations even. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding around affirmations, but these become your new way of thinking about the thing that you're resisting. And I want you to practice those thoughts, and I want you to practice trying them on and practice the new energy behind them, the new emotions that they trigger. And I promise you that this will create a different action. It will, if you actually really focus on them, believe them, and can make that shift. So, best of luck. Do the exercise. Come and ask questions. Reach out to me if you need help. If you want to go deeper on any of this kind of work is what I do with my clients inside my programs. I share more about this deeper in my newsletter. I also have programs and workshops from time to time, like really affordable or free workshops where I guide people through a lot of this stuff. So go to my website, get on my email list so that you can be aware of when those things happen, because this really, really will change the way that you feel in your life and the way that you operate in your business. I can promise you that. Okay, have a wonderful day.